Hello everybody, welcome to Matic TV, Adam Matic TV, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. People have been saying I'm crazy watching the watch-alongs recently, but we're here, we're hurtling into another weekend, a jam-packed weekend, and most importantly, it's another week out of the way on the road to lockdown freedom. We're nearly there, people, we are nearly there, and it is an absolute pleasure to have on the show tonight for the first time. Elizabeth, how are you doing? Crazy, mad Chelsea fan. All over social media, you will see Elizabeth. And don't forget, guys, her link for her channel is in the description below to this video. So do go and check her out as well. Elizabeth, how's it going?
It's going good, Adam. Thanks so much for having me. I know that I had you back on. Before I was on YouTube, I had you on a Twitter video for the reverse fixtures. So I'm really excited to hop on your channel and talk all things Chelsea ahead of the clash.
Oh, it's going to be a big one. We might as well get straight into it, Elizabeth, because from your side of things, a lot has changed since we last spoke. I mean, Tuchel's in. It is a completely different style of football. To be honest, I think I wasn't expecting it to be like this. A little less entertaining, you would say, but it's looking effective.
Yeah, I think I've been really impressed with Tuchel since he's come into Chelsea, because under Lampard, towards the end, you knew that we were losing so many games. I think we lost 5 or 6 in 8 games, and it was just a really terrible run of form, and the team looked really devoid of confidence as well. So I think there is a bit of a new manager bounce, but I also think that Tuchel handles the players really well. He speaks about managing players that are starting in the starting 11, but also who aren't starting, making sure that they know exactly where he stands on them. And I also really trust his tactics. You know, he stopped the goals from pouring in. Chelsea have only conceded, I think, 1.7 shots per game since he's been in charge. We're not necessarily scoring that many goals, but I do think that that's kind of like the last thing that will pop into place. But we are winning games. We're stopped conceding so many goals, and now we're kind of getting some momentum together and seeing a little bit more of a style of play, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, you speak to a lot of Chelsea fans, I'm sure, and know how are the Chelsea fans taking to Tuchel? Is it a sort of, we don't like this style? Because I heard Tony Cascarino on the radio talking, saying he does not like this style of football. Kind of did jump the gun a little bit after a couple of games and say that. But like you said then, Elizabeth, had the Chelsea fans sort of easing their way back into how Tuchel's actually working. You can see a sort of plan of what he's actually laying out there and how he's going to move it forward.
Yeah, I think at the beginning it was difficult because Chelsea fans were so divided between Frank Lampard in, Frank Lampard out, and just how that whole situation unfolded, because it seemed like he was sacked from one day to the other. I wasn't really seeing it coming. Like, I thought he would be sacked after the Leicester game when we lost. And since he wasn't sacked directly after that game, I thought that he was going to have a couple more games to turn things around. So a couple of people were very upset about how Lampard was handled in that situation. But I think overall, everybody's willing to give Tuchel a clean slate. And he's really shown that he's bringing players in. And, you know, some of these players we haven't seen play under Lampard, but I do think that it's still early days. And I don't think that we're necessarily going to see this system or formation. He's playing 3 at the back. We're playing Kovacic and Jorginho and like these wing backs. I don't think that we're necessarily going to see that maybe even into next season, but I think that it's just more to try to get some wins and get some momentum together. And I think generally people are really happy with how we've been getting results, big results against Tottenham, massive results against Atletico Madrid away. So overall, I think it's been a really, really great start for his Chelsea career.
Yeah, I would say probably that was Chelsea's best performance against Atletico Madrid. I mean, top of La Liga. And to go there, well, not to go there, it's everything seems to be neutral grounds at the moment, doesn't it, and everything. But 1-0 clean sheet against the master of being solid in Simeone. So it just shows you the calibre of Tuchel and what he's actually got. And his experience in Europe is clear. It was absolutely clear for everyone to see in that game against Atletico Madrid especially. We've got a super chat here from Jonathan. I wasn't going to get into this sort of question until later on maybe, but we've got another super chat. Cheers for that, Jonathan. Adam, who is your favourite current Chelsea player? And Elizabeth, favourite United player? You can go first on this one, Elizabeth. This one's on you.
Well, I think your best player is Fernandes, but my favorite United player is Marcus Rashford. I think he's just an incredible human being, and I really, really rate him as a player as well. So that's who I would choose.
Yeah, I would. I would love to get you into a conversation with a few United fans and tell them that, because some of our really good players are just so badly disrespected in our fan base. It is crazy. I'm sure you've seen it before with some of your players as well. In terms of my favourite, Chelsea player. I mean, just a few. Oh, it's hard to pick really, because a lot of it is brand new. It is really brand new. It's a brand new team. I mean, I've always been a massive, massive fan of Kante. I've absolutely loved him and the way he plays. And I just feel like if there was one player in your team who nailed down his role and his position, it's him. He is a player
He hasn't been playing that much.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it brings me on to my next. That's my favourite player from Chelsea. I need to learn and get to know a few more Chelsea players, because they're all like, I mean, I love Mount, but it's 2 years in. All the players that came in this summer still not had a full season, so it's hard to pick a Chelsea player. So I would go along the lines of what you've got there. The obvious one would have been Bruno for you. I'm sure the obvious one for me, for a Chelsea player, would have been someone like Mount. I do feel like he is the future of Chelsea. But in terms of your squad, actually, looking at Tuchel now, is there any signs that you can see the players who aren't going to make it right now at Chelsea in terms of who he's playing and how he's playing?
There's a couple of players that I feel don't necessarily fit into this 3-4-2-1 formation that Chelsea have been playing. But like I said, that's not to say that we're not going to see them in the future. I just think that perhaps we're going to see this formation until the end of the season. But players like Ziyech haven't been playing. I think he started versus Wolves in Tuchel's first game in charge, and we haven't seen him start a game, I don't think, since then. He's been coming off the bench a couple of times, but even then his minutes have been pretty sparse. And I think he played against Barnsley and lost possession like over 20 times or 25 times, something like that. So I am worried a little bit about Ziyech because he's not the most physical player. We know that the Premier League is a very physical league, and I think that he has moments of brilliance and creativity that he can bring, but he also hasn't really played football in a year. He's played, I think, 14 competitive games in 11 months because the Dutch league ended so early. He didn't have a preseason with Chelsea, and he got injured, and all these things start compounding. So Ziyech is somebody that I'm a little bit worried about. Ben Chilwell has not been starting ahead of Marcus Alonso, which is very worrying for me because we paid 50 million for him over the summer, and now you have Marcus Alonso, who I thought was on his way out, starting at left wing back, which I understand because Marcus Alonso can be a great left wing back. I don't think he's been fantastic. He scored one worldie, and other than that, I think he's been pretty average. But Ben Chilwell is like 23, so I would probably invest the time into him. And Christian Pulisic hasn't been playing either, so that's it. I mean, because he's my favorite player.
We spoke about this last time. I was in agreement with you last time in terms of Pulisic, but out of all the players that came in the summer, you just touched on Ziyech there. Under Lampard, he was probably the one that was really that looked like he was going to be able to stand the test of time, really, because obviously we know the troubles that Werner and Havertz have had, but Ziyech seemed to take to it really well under Lampard, and soon as Tuchel come in, it seems to have completely role-reversed your team. And like you said then, Alonso, no, I am not having that man in my team. I would not be a happy Chelsea man. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? When a new manager comes in, he knows if he knows this quickly who his best players are, and if it is and does look like it's a swerve ball to a lot of the fans, then it does kind of know he obviously has a plan and he knows how he wants to play. And you know what I mean? I think you're still unbeaten, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Just drew 2 games against Southampton and the first one against Wolves, which I can't even really count because he had one training session in charge of Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going well. I still have my doubts about these players that have been brought in, I'm not totally convinced on Jorginho, to be completely honest with you. I would prefer to be playing N'Golo Kante. I think that he brings more to the team than Jorginho does, or even like a Billy Gilmore. He's very young, but I think that he has a higher ceiling than Jorginho. And at least you're giving minutes to somebody who, you know, like they're going to grow so much and it's such valuable minutes. Whereas from Jorginho, I haven't really been that impressed with him. I think that he's played okay and that the system is able to play more to his strengths than to hide his weaknesses a little bit. But he's somebody that I still have questions about.
It's a really good point that you touched on that, actually, in terms of what actually might happen in the summer, that it may completely change. Has he been given a target for the season and thought, looking at that squad right now that I've got, these players in this style of football, and as effective as this style of football is, can get me to that Champions League spot? And then we may see the likes of Gilmore, Mount be more, Chilwell be more involved in the team, be looking to get a full pre-season for the first time in 2 years with his team. And that, I think, possibly could be what is actually happening. I mean, I don't know how you see that, Elizabeth. It could all change in the summer easily in terms of personnel.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are going to look to offboard quite a few players. And so I really want to see, it will be interesting to see who sticks around, because there have been names like Marcus Alonso, Rudiger, Jorginho, who have been touted for leaving for maybe 2 years already. So it will be interesting to see if the club can actually sell them, if they want to sell them at this point, if the players want to stay, or if they have this like renewed life under Tuchel. But certain players that we brought in over the summer, like Havertz, like Ziyech, like Ben Chilwell, who haven't been playing, I think that the board are going to want them to play because they spend so much money on them, and it doesn't make sense to spend so much money on these players and then have them sit on the bench. So I think right now the aim for Tuchel is to get top four, which he's doing. We're currently in that top four race. And then over the summer, hopefully he can try to integrate those players, identify where there's gaps in the team so that Chelsea can go out and buy a couple more players as well.
Yeah, that's it. By hook or by crook, get into the top four. And then I think he really would have been brought in to deal with German being his first language. The likes of Werner, Havertz, these young lads with Tuchel in charge could probably... We may see the best of them next season. You never know. You have got Abramovich as an owner, and anything is possible there. But in terms of your style of play, is there always a chance that that Southampton game can happen? No. The whipping boys of the league at the moment, Elizabeth, and then you guys go and give them their first point or first... And they were poor, Southampton, in that game. I think you was more wasteful than them actually being on a level par with you guys. But is that style of football, and we know this under Van Gaal more than anyone, that game is always there, and that result could always happen.
You make such a good point. And I had Jan from Football Therapy on my channel a couple of days ago, and he made this brilliant analogy. So I'm going to share it, but I need to give
Go for it.
He says, if you're a musician and you're in front of a crowd and they say, "Oh, can you play us a song? We want to hear you play something." He goes, "Okay." You're not really going to think about maybe the song that's the best for your audience. You're going to think of a song that you know that you can perform very well and that you have locked down in your toolbox.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, I think that Tuchel is trying to change this, but we've seen time and time again that Chelsea are not very good in the final third. They lack being clinical. They lack picking out the final pass. Sometimes the passes are too overweighted. They lack decision-making sometimes. So I think sometimes Chelsea's default is just, okay, sideways pass, safe pass. I think they get worried about the potential risk that they could be taking in that final third. So I think the default could be, okay, let's play it safe. Let me just try to pass the ball almost into the back of the net, which isn't what Tuchel wants, but it's going to take a lot of time to change that behavior. And also maybe some different players as well. You have these players that are so programmed to doing this, and you can see it change for maybe 15 minutes and then they'll fall back right into it. So definitely that game is in Chelsea, is a possibility for Chelsea, because we've seen it happen time and time again that Chelsea have a lot of difficulty breaking down these low block sides.
Ditto. That is our Achilles. That he does pretty much describe United going forward, and that's what I think in this game this weekend. is what is actually going to happen. I think, do you know what? Funnily enough, I'm just getting through a few comments here as we go through. Who's this really not confused woman that chose to support Chelsea? Right, you'll get plenty of these comments coming through, but we have got a lot of respectful people in this comment chat, because my man Paul there is looking after everyone as always, my mod. Evening to everyone as well in the comment section. I don't think I've brought it up actually yet tonight, but hello everyone, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. The last time we played, Elizabeth, it pretty much was this stalemate at Old Trafford under Lampard. I mean, I probably think it's probably the most dullest game I've watched all season, and that's difficult. I mean, could it, looking at how Tuchel sets up at Stamford Bridge, go that way, or is he... I don't know how to display. With being at Stamford Bridge, does it change much, or is it very, very strict? It is home and away, very similar style of football. And if he knows United, which he does, it's 2-2 in terms of Solskjaer and Tuchel at the moment over the last couple of years, 2 wins apiece. If he knows United, is that low block coming? Because that, you said, is difficult for you guys, but I think even more so for us. And you know what? I bet 0-0 is probably a favourite scoreline for this game this weekend for a lot of people. I bet that money is being spent on that one, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I hope that we can see some goals. I do think that United have the opportunity to catch us massively on the counterattack, because you guys are such a great counterattacking side. And we've seen that Chelsea have suffered with this in past games, that we tend to leave a lot of space in between the lines and between that DM, Kovacic, Jorginho, Conte, whoever's in that position, and the defense, the central defenders. There's usually a lot of space, and with one pass, you can really take the team out. And I think that we're trying to work on this, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a goal from United, like on a counterattack, or Rashford scoring a worldie in a free kick, because he always happens to score against us. I don't know what it is, but I do think that United are probably going to sit back more. Chelsea will probably have more of the possession, but like we've said, Chelsea have had a lot of possession but haven't really done that much with it. So it will be interesting to see if we can actually break you guys down.
It's got, like everyone's saying in the comments there is a lot of 0-0 feelings and draws. I was listening to pundits all day today on the radio talking about it. It does look like it's one way or the other going to be a draw. I think complete cancelling of each other out. But in terms of your forward line, I know you've been playing a few. Obviously, great goal for Giroud the other night again. Where do you stand with Giroud and looking at United centre-backs at the moment? And that obviously is our weak Achilles heel, because it has been brought up by a lot of people, me, myself. We have got a soft belly in that central defence. And someone like Giroud, he bullied us in the semi-final last year. And could we be seeing Giroud again? Two games in a row? 2 games in a week?
Yeah, that's the only thing I would think about is I think there probably has been enough time between the game on Tuesday night and this United game on Sunday night for Giroud to play again. And I also think it would be rewarding him for scoring that absolute golazo in the Champions League. He's a really important player. He is like a fine wine. He's getting better with age, just scoring incredible, really important goals for Chelsea. And I don't think that he necessarily always plays fantastic. He's a bit limited. He can't run that fast. You really have to play to him. But he's a really good target man. And if United are struggling defensively, especially in that center back, I think that he could be a perfect person to try to bully them, because we know that he's really, really strong aerially as well.
Yeah, you touched on it beforehand as well, Elizabeth. Form going into this game and previous. I think United have won the last 3 at Stamford Bridge now, if I can remember right. It's turned into a happy hunting ground again for us, pretty much like it was in the 90s. I can remember back to the 90s, it was Chelsea won at Old Trafford and United won at Stamford Bridge. It was a weird scenario. It was weird how it worked out. But I think looking at it right now, United off the back of, an all right win against Newcastle, good win against Sociedad last week, boring draw last night, but we just had to go through the motions. Chelsea, I think, probably on the up a little bit more after that Atletico Madrid result. I mean, how is the mood in the Chelsea fan base right now? Is it a confident mood going into the United game? Because this, I would say, is probably your biggest domestic game under Tuchel so far.
No, I would definitely agree. I think that, I don't know, I am never like super confident playing against
She's
United.
nervous.
Yeah, and I'm historically known for being a very nervous Chelsea fan. So even if we're playing like a Fulham, I'll be like, I'm so nervous for this game. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. But I was looking up the stats, and Chelsea have only won 1 in their last 8 in all comps against United. United haven't lost any away games this season. And I think in the last 6 meetings, I think in the Premier League it was, United won 3 and drew 3. So it really, the stats don't go in Chelsea's favor, but I'm hopeful that we can pull out a result because, like you said, it must be really high feeling in the dressing room after beating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. And I do think that there has just been like a really great aura in the dressing room, on the training ground as well. I really trust in Tuchel. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a 0-0 or like a really, really crazy game. It's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, one of them games where you expect it to go one way, but then it goes completely 180 and spins on you and just turns into a goal bonanza. It would be nice. It would be nice. Not good for the nerves, but good for entertainment value. Prime time, 4:30 on a Sunday as well. Always is with United Chelsea. Always the game of the weekend. But looking at it, someone posted a question earlier on. I think there's some other big games this weekend as well. I'm sure it's Arsenal against Chelsea, Arsenal against Leicester. Where do you see Chelsea's chances on top 4 right now, Elizabeth, in terms of the other teams around? Is there any team that obviously would take United out of it, but is Leicester a factor in this? Are you going to get a late surge from Jose to come back and bite Chelsea? And dare I say it, West Ham?
Yeah, West Ham are a dark horse this season. They're playing really well.
Although they've got City first game of the weekend, so
Yeah.
we'll see where West Ham are at. So it could be, I don't want to say it because it'll go against us, but it could be a very, very prosperous weekend if results go right for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think we're just 4 points behind United, 2 points behind West Ham, if I'm not mistaken. So, or 6 points behind United, something like that.
Six it is,
behind United. So if we win, we'll go just 3 points behind you into 4th. So it's really a tight top 4 race. I think City are going to run away with the title. But you have United in there who, like Chelsea, you guys have your really good periods and then your not so good periods, I feel. So it could go either way. Chelsea as well could really go either way. Leicester, we saw last season, they kind of slipped off the radar. James Justin is injured. I think that could be a blow for them. Madison may be injured. I'm just going off of what I saw
at the moment.
Yeah.
He is injured.
On FPL, I like look at all of the players that I might transfer in. I think he was injured, so they're always a good side as well. And I don't think Tottenham are going to get back into it. Honestly, it seems.
I actually think you're right. I think their eggs are firmly in the Europa League basket. I think that's Jose's get out of jail card. I think that's what he's going to go for. So I think you take Chelsea out of it. But yeah, I actually see it going pretty much the same way last season did. It was us, Chelsea, Leicester, them 3 mainly battering around. But then again, no one expected what happened to Liverpool this season, Elizabeth. Yeah. And are they going to even make it? Because they're dropping like a ton of bricks at the moment.
I know, and Chelsea play Liverpool next week, and I'm just sure that they're going to find their form against Chelsea because every team always seems to find their form against Chelsea. If you have a player that's out injured, they'll come back before they play against Chelsea. If you have a player that's out of form, they'll get in form against Chelsea. It's just
I think every fan looks ahead like that and sees it that way, don't they? It's just like, why is he back now? How has he got fit? He was out on crutches a week ago. And now we're coming into town. He's back. And you know what happens, don't you? You know what happens. Whenever, and you say that there, it's when like there's a young kid who's been thrown into the team because of short on numbers. He always has a worldie in that game against you. It happens every single time, doesn't it? It is crazy. But yeah, you guys, this is a really testing time then, isn't it? Because you'll have the Atletico game in between as well.
Terrible fixtures. We have United, Liverpool, Everton, Atletico, Leeds. So it's really, really tough time, but I think it's going to speak a lot. We're going to know a lot after this month as to where Chelsea season is going and a lot about Tuchel as well. So
yeah,
hopefully
I think we're very similar to you. And we've got we've got a week of away games in the Premier League. We got Chelsea away, Palace away, City away, and then Milan. And then we go into, I think, Leicester in the FA Cup. So we have got an absolute mare of a run, pretty much like yourselves there. So testing times for both. And that probably puts a little bit more pressure on our game at weekend, because you need a little bit of momentum to go into that, because this is the start of a tough run for both teams. So on that note, Elizabeth, I mean, who is your team? Who is your Chelsea team for the United game this weekend? Who is the ones that are going to... well, I don't think it's hard to score against United, but is there going to be one player that comes out and wins it for you? How are you setting the team up against United?
I don't think that. Well, the problem I have with this Chelsea team right now is that I feel that Chelsea don't have that one player that can just turn a game on its head. Like Bruno Fernandes can not play well during a game, but he can still get an assist or a goal contribution and still contribute to the team. And I don't see any player that's like a complete game changer. I don't feel like we've really had that since Hazard left. Christian Pulisic, I think, could be that, but he's just been struggling so much with injuries. We saw after Project Restart what an incredible player he can be, but he hasn't been fit, and I think that the injuries are kind of playing in his mind as well. So that being said, I think that we're going to stick with the same formation that Chelsea have been playing in recent weeks. No reason to change it now. So a 3-4-2-1, so to speak. Mendy in goal, I would be shocked if Kepa was playing. And a back five. This is interesting. Well, I'll go for the center backs first, because those are the easy ones. Azpilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger, since Thiago Silva is still out injured. And I haven't decided if I want to play Reece as a right wing back and Callum up front, like alongside Giroud, or Callum as the right wing back. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Depends who we play on that side, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. So we've seen Callum playing more, but I'm also nervous. I know that United usually attack down
down your right,
down our right, so your left.
Our left. Yeah.
I think that Reece James is more defensively suited than Callum Hudson-Odoi is.
I agree.
So I think I would probably go Reece James right wing back, and I think we're going to see Alonso left wing back, but I don't necessarily agree with it that much. Chilwell hasn't been good either recently, but
I still can't get around that Alonso one, but yeah, carry on. What's it going to be? I don't understand it.
And then I think we're probably going to stick with Jorginho and Kovacic. But like I said, I'm extremely worried about Jorginho getting caught on the counter, because I do think that he's pretty slow. He commits these tactical fouls. He gets a lot of yellow cards, and it could be an issue for Chelsea, especially conceding a free kick in a dangerous area. You guys have really great free kick takers as well. So I think Conte should play, because I think that he would break up that danger a little bit.
No, don't play him. Don't play him. Don't play him. Keep Jorginho. Yeah, I don't want Conte. He's like a thorn in our side. That man. I've never seen a guy so small and so strong as that guy. I couldn't believe how strong he was. But yeah, no, you can leave him out if you want, Elizabeth. No problem.
I'm gonna put Conte in my side, but I do think that Jorginho will probably start. And then Mason Mount has to start in that 10 role for me.
True, I agree.
I think he's been probably one of our players of the season, if not our player of the season. He's just been so important for us. And up front, I think we're going to see Giroud and potentially Callum, or Giroud and Werner. But I don't think that will probably be like a great game for Werner, because if you're playing a little bit further back, Werner needs a lot of time and space on the ball, which I don't think he's necessarily going to get against you guys.
Yeah, true. That is. I mean, it's worked so far. And he said, as soon as you start playing the team frequently and every week, then you start to get these little partnerships build up. You start to get the camaraderie within the team. You start to learn patterns of play. So I think you're probably more settled than what we are right now, because we have got quite a few injuries in our midfield. We really do. I don't know. Pogba is back in training. McTominay's back in training. I think Donny's back in training as well. So there goes your announcement about, you said before, everyone being fit for when we come round to play Chelsea. But yeah, it's going to be interesting if he tries to play them or not. But our team, there's no one has got any idea apart from Ollie will always pick De Gea, Maguire, Rashford, and Bruno. Given every single week, no matter how bad they're playing, they're always in the team. So you can pretty much put them in there, and that's the worry straight away. Because for me, I'd play Baye next to Maguire. Luke Shaw comes in, obviously Wan-Bissaka. I'd have Henderson in goal. Everyone's going to complain and moan at me about that and say I'm being mean again to David De Gea, but I'm not. I'm just being realistic.
I really like Henderson. I wish that Chelsea could have signed him, honestly.
Yeah. Sorry, Henderson or De Gea?
Henderson, yeah, in goal.
Henderson. Yeah, no, people will say and always say he's not proven yet. How can you trust a Sheffield United player to make it at Manchester United? Well, for one, you've got to see it and he's got to be given a chance. And every time he's played this season, he had the one blunder against Sheffield United of all teams where he had an absolute nightmare. But I would play him. I'm a big advocate of getting your chance to play. And if you play well, you stay in the team. That doesn't happen at United, though, unfortunately. I honestly couldn't pick our midfield because I don't know who's fit.
Yeah,
we've had Matic, your old friend, me. We had Matic and Fred, which is my worst combination for United midfields. And then obviously we're going to get. I don't think Cavani's fit, which is a shame. So we're going to see Rashford.
That one, I think he would definitely score. He's an incredible player.
Yeah.
And he's been scoring quite a few goals recently as well.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably see Rashford, Martial and Greenwood up top with Bruno behind him, which is still scarily decent. But Bruno and Rashford are the only ones getting goals at the moment. Greenwood and Martial are having a barren spell. So it is, especially Martial. So it is a worry. But big games sometimes bring out big performances. Just couldn't tell you right now, Elizabeth, which team is going to step up. It is so 50-50 this game. It's too hard to call. And I think that's why everyone is going with a draw at the moment. But we are. Go on, sorry, Elizabeth.
I was just going to ask you, do you think that United are at a bit of a disadvantage having played in the Europa League on Thursday and drawn? I think you drew 0-0, right? So not necessarily having that momentum of a win, but you did qualify.
Yeah, we qualify. It's not so much the momentum in terms of result. It's the fitness, because we still had a really strong team out, and there was no need. We were 4-0 up, and when the team got announced, we were all scratching our heads, going, "Why have we got all these players in? Why are we substituting Rashford on at half time?" It was just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. But that's Ollie. He's always plays his strong team, and we all fear burnout as United fans towards the end of the season. That's our ultimate fear. And if we're in the Europa League, burnout is definitely going to kick in at some point. But we will see. We will see. And
I saw somebody say she has the best sounding Cockney accent I've ever heard. I'm from New York. There's this like American accent.
Yeah, by the way, guys, if you do want to know more about Elizabeth, like I said, click down. In the description below is Elizabeth link to her YouTube channel. So do check her out on there as well, guys. Get behind her, give her some support as well, because she has got brilliant content. You're already massive on Twitter as well, Elizabeth, aren't you? So
yeah. Well,
how many? What's your follower count now on Twitter?
A little over 27,000.
Yeah, there you go, people. Well known. Do you do any rants? Do you have any meltdowns at all, Elizabeth? I don't think I've seen any. Are you very calm on match days?
Actually, like the very first video that I posted on Twitter was me ranting about drawing to Arsenal a year ago. But I try not to rant too much. Like I'll have videos where I'm like a little bit disappointed and not as smiley, but I try to be like usually optimistic and then like cognizant of like who sees my content as well. So I don't want to be like too negative on there, but I definitely have ranted, but definitely not to a massive degree. Like you might see like a Mark Goldbridge rant or something, or Alex Goldberg back in the day.
That's it. I mean, I have my own moments, as everyone knows. I belong at the stadium. I do not belong in a house watching it on TV. I really don't, and it's killing me. Well, like I said at the start of the video, guys, we are on the road to freedom and getting back to the stadium. Where do you actually play at home last game of the season, Elizabeth? Because fans are being let in. Did you check that out?
I think we played the last game is away to Aston Villa.
Oh, we're away at Wolves as well. We missed out on ours as well. But suppose we're hoping for the FA Cup final. They could be letting big crowds in for the FA Cup. So that's our avenue to getting back to a stadium before the season ends.
I want to go to a game so badly, but
I know,
great.
We've got loads to look forward to. We've actually got the safe standing starting when we go back as well. We have a whole section of the stadium going in safe standing now. We're piloting that for the Premier League, so that's really interesting. So if we do get back to normality into next season, that's going to be good to look forward to. But like you said, I think everyone's just chomping at the bit to just try and get back to the stadiums, aren't they? That match day feeling.
I haven't been to the bridge in like 5 years, so
even worse for you than into it, but you can't wait.
Yeah. Thankfully, like from New York, obviously it's massive, but from Madrid, it's not like that bad, and I can work remotely and go see a game or so. But I'm really excited. I was going to go to like some Real Madrid games, but then lockdown happened, so I couldn't do that.
That's it. How is everything over in Spain right now in terms of lockdown? Where are you guys standing right now with it all?
So we had like the big lockdown last year. Summer was okay. Then my town we didn't get locked down, but we got confined. So we couldn't leave the town in October for like a month and a half. And now everything's open, like gyms are open, but you have to wear a mask everywhere you go. So you have to wear a mask outside. You have to wear a mask in the gym. And yeah, it's just like a bit of an inconvenience, but you can still basically do whatever you want. And there's like a photo, like I don't know how to say that in English, like the count of how many people are allowed in a place.
In terms, the capacity. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, Elizabeth's getting a load of praise in the comment section here. You're getting big ups here, Elizabeth.
Thank you, guys.
Good question from Ray, actually, there. I mean, how big is the Chelsea following in America? I mean, I have family in LA, so I know that there is quite a decent Chelsea following in LA, especially. There is massive United, obviously, all over the world, but Chelsea are. And my cousin who lives in LA says that whenever there's a game on the rivalry, there's always a big Chelsea and United rivalry over there. So it must be quite big.
Yeah, I think like when I was growing up, I don't know, I didn't know about it. I think that the Premier League started being shown on TV maybe later in the States, but recently, since they've been doing a massive push, especially on NBC Sports, to show more of the Premier League, especially with Christian Pulisic being American and playing for Chelsea. I think that's absolutely massive. He has the second most shirts sold in the entire world, I think, just only behind Messi. So just speaks so much. Like, I think that he's really been such an advocate. Like, us Americans don't see many players that are American in the Premier League. So to see Pulisic play, and especially me being a Chelsea fan, to see him play is something that's super special as well.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely. Before we finish the show, they've all been asking for it. Here we go. This probably is one of the most competitive combined 11s we've ever done on the show. It's like we tried to do a Newcastle one the other day and we give up. It just wasn't even worth it. But Chelsea and United, there's so many players in similar positions. To keep it simple,
formations as well.
Yeah, this is it. This is the problem, guys. Quickly in the comment section before we start this, hit the formations. What formation are we going to do this combined 11 in? Because this is important. Because Chelsea play a completely different setup to United. I think this is going to, if I'm being honest, Elizabeth, it's going to go completely one-sided, this, because mainly all United fans in there. So I expect a 4-2-3-1 to pop up any second. That's if someone actually does comment on it and doesn't leave me hanging. Yeah, they're all let down right now. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to go 4-2-3-1, I think.
Let's see. There you go. Yeah. 4-3-3. 4-4-2.
4-4-2 is not easy. Not in the modern football. 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 4-4-2, 4-3-3. Do you want to do? We'll do a 4-4-2 for a laugh then. We'll do it 5-4-0. That's the only special on a 5-4-0.
That's
God, no.
hilarious.
Right. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do a 4-4-2. Let's just mix it up completely. In goal, I don't know. This is a tough one. I mean, I would probably, going off this season, I think probably Mengi's been best, I would say, this season for Chelsea. A lot more clean sheets.
Highest for clean sheets in the league. Last time I checked, at least. So I think that he's been playing really well. He has some iffy moments, but generally I think that he's been pretty good. And
yeah, I think that's probably fair enough, to be honest. I mean, De Gea was okay, and now he started to do his mistakes again. Henderson's just not had enough time in the sticks, even though I'd want him to be there. So we can't really judge it on that. Off game time, I'd say Mendy, definitely. Left back, I'm going to put Luke Shaw in there. I think he's probably steadiest left back in the league this season so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso is in a left back, and Ben Chilwell played well at the start of the season, but then he really tapered off along with the rest of the Chelsea team for a long period, and now he's just not playing. So I agree with you on that one.
This is how crazy. This is the good mood that Friday brings, Elizabeth, this on my show, because you get comments like this. Goalkeeper Lee Grant, and wait for it. Let's see. Ashad says Caballero. Seriously, guys, what's going on? Same guys just said Ashley Cole for left back. Sort your head out. It's this season, people. I know you're taking the mick, but let's just get a bit serious while we finish it up. Centre backs. Oh my days, this one. Could be anything.
Somebody who isn't eligible for tomorrow's game, because then I'll
pick in Silver.
Yeah, but he's not eligible for tomorrow's game. So
yeah, we'll let it swing for this one because he has played most of the season. So Silver's in. I would pick Silver as well. I was gutted when United didn't go for him. I knew that him and Cavani, two positions we needed at the start of the summer. I'm like, why are we not moving on this? We know we haven't got any money, so why are we not going for these guys? These will see us through, hopefully. But no, you beat us to it, and that was it. So
I was a little bit nervous about it, but he's proved to be one of the best signings. He's just been so steady in the back, such a great leader as well. You know, he doesn't even need to speak English. He just is incredible, you know, and just shows up next to him.
He makes Zuma look decent again, doesn't he? I mean, that says everything, doesn't it? To partner him, I'm going to mix it up and go Eric Bayer. I just think you need that little bit of speed. Maguire, no. Lindelof, no. Silva's not the quickest as it is. I think we do need a little bit of speed there to counteract it. So I would put Bayer in there. I think he's probably the quickest centre-back out of both teams.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints because I'm not really a massive fan of any of Chelsea's centre-backs other than Thiago. So I do
join the club.
But Zuma hasn't been playing recently either. So it's just like a total crapshoot who's going to start, honestly.
Okay, I actually liking this defence. It's quite a well-balanced one, actually, for our show, that one. Right back, though. Oh, who have you got there right now?
Well, we're not playing right back. We're playing
wing backs, aren't you?
But Reece James is like, if we were to play right back, Reece James would start, I think. And he has been playing in the majority of this season until Lampard was sacked at the right back spot. I think he's so strong. Going forward, defensively, he's not as good as Wan-Bissaka, but I do think that he brings so much offensively. The crossing, the shots, set pieces as well. So everybody's going to say Wan-Bissaka in the comments. But
yeah, I think in terms of defense, because I think the forward line is going to be enough on its own for attacking. So I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka, and then you guys can decide who you want in the team. And stop being silly with your old school players as well, people. It's not working. I'm not doing it. Ferreira, God's sake, seen them all now. Yeah, I'd go Wan-Bissaka, but I can see the James. Sort of angle on that, definitely. Tough one to call that.
Yeah, no. So we'll go Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, let's go Wan-Bissaka. Right, okay. Two midfielders, so we can pick two centre midfielders. Don't have to be holding. They can be 2-8s. It can be anything. This, I think, there's an absolute ridiculous abundance of players that this could be. So if we're playing 4-4-2, guys, this is your fault, people, as well. I think Bruno has to be one.
Yeah, he has
because
to be
he
playing.
can't play on the wing and he can't play up front. So I'm going to let you pick the partner for Bruno Fernandes. Oh my God! If you say who I think you're going to say, that it's a scarily dangerous attacking midfield, but not most defensive.
And
This is what you do with that formation, people.
no, I
Silly.
tried. So I'm between like Kovacic and Mason Mount. Those are
I know
the two.
you'd be. Yeah, I was swaying towards that as well. I think we're just going to go absolutely crazy and put Mount in there and have a full-on attacking midfield. But I just can't believe how good this midfield and strike force is going to be, and how poor the back line is. It's ridiculous right now where we're actually at.
We're just gonna score 10 goals, but I couldn't see them as well. That's it.
Yeah, it's going to be 12-10 or something. The scoreline. Mount and Fernandes sounds scary though, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's not. Especially the work rate of Mount as well. They combined with
Both of them. Yeah, both of them have the highest work rate in both teams. I think, if that's right. I know Fernandes has ours. I'm pretty certain Mount's going to be yours. So that probably works out okay, really, if you look at it because both get up and down the pitch. I'm guessing they're going to hold the ball more, so they're not going to have to defend that much. So I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Wingers, I'll let you go first on this. Left wing, Elizabeth, who are we having?
Oh God, are you counting Rashford as a winger or a striker?
He's got 18 goals this season from the left attacking, so I suppose, but you could put Rashford as a winger because he does get back and defend as well.
We could see, like I think Rashford and Werner could potentially actually play pretty well together.
True.
Like I think they kind of play in a similar position, but I think they could like overlap with each other very well. So that could be interesting. Maybe we see a Giroud in there. I want to put Pulisic in, but he just hasn't played this season, really.
Yeah,
so I can't put him in. Otherwise, I would say that. I think left wing, if you're counting Rashford as a winger, then you could put him on the left. Otherwise, maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi is a really great left winger.
It's not our fault, Elizabeth. These guys picked the 4-4-2, so we're putting Rashford as a winger today. So yeah. Oh my word, that's getting scary already. Right wing. Oh, could you play the Hudson-Odoi right wing role?
Yeah. Callum plays at right wing as well, so we could definitely put him there.
Yeah, wow. That is, you know what? England have got some serious talent, haven't they? My God. That whole midfield, apart from Bruno, scares me to death. I'll go with that. I think Hudson-Odoi definitely for the right wing. Greenwood just behind. I just don't think Greenwood's played enough games. Pretty much like you said with Pulisic. I think Hudson-Odoi, since Tuchel's been in, he's playing a lot more.
Yeah.
I think that one probably touches it. Victor Moses isn't getting in, Ray J, mate. Steady red. Sort it out, mate.
I don't know how many years it's been since he played for Chelsea. Like 4.
Yeah, Dan James isn't getting in there either. Don't worry about that. He's not there. Okay, that is a scary midfield 4. So we've got Mendy in goal, Shaw, Bailly, Silva, and one of Wan-Bissaka or James.
Yeah,
we'll go Wan-Bissaka then for the defensive structure. Because we're going to need some defenders in this team because the midfield ain't giving much support in that department. So you've got Mount with Bruno Fernandes, then we've got Hudson-Odoi on the right, and we've got Rashford on the left. We've got to pick 2 strikers now. Do you know what? Striking department hasn't been either team's best forte this season, I would say, really. No one's pulling up trees, are they? I mean, people are saying Cavani and Giroud there. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that looks a bit rigid to me. There's not much speed.
You could put Werner in and have Cavani, I think. Werner has scored a couple. Like, he's actually scored, I think, like 10 goals in, like,
Has Werner got 10 goals this season?
But not in the league. I think it's, like, all
I think, Martial's got 7 in all competitions, so that just shows you, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, so I think that
how many has Werner got since Tuchel came in, Elizabeth?
I think just the one, but he's gotten an assist as well, and he's won a couple of penalties. I think he's won like half of Chelsea's penalties this season, which is like a pre-assist, so to speak. I'll probably go with Cavani.
I mean, Darren says Tammy Abraham and Cavani. I mean, how's Tammy playing under Tuchel? Has he had much of an opportunity, or is he one that's missed out a bit?
He's been playing probably 50% of the games. Like him and Werner's been kind of like a nailed on starter, and then him and Giroud kind of alternate. He's funny because he has these games where he looks brilliant and he'll score goals. Then he has other games where he's getting taken off at halftime. That's happened twice under Tuchel, that he gets taken off at halftime, and sometimes he looks like a little bit lost. So I think Tammy's a really good player, but it's just not like at that level of consistency that I would like.
Yeah, so I think I'm still. I mean, should we go? You could maybe play Werner with Cavani then. I think we're clutching there because we've got Rashford out on the way. I think the goals are in midfield, to be honest, aren't they? The strikers are just support acts, aren't they? Really, that's the way it's going. That's the way football's played these days. Unless you're a Harry Kane or a Haaland, I think the number 9 position is just an old school footballing position now. It's not really that important anymore. But yeah, that's our combined 11 people. Hope you approve, seeing as though you came up with some crazy formations and the far out there comments on who should actually be in it. But that pretty much sums us up for this video, guys. It has flown by. I just want to say, Elizabeth, thank you very much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to having you on my channel after the game to hopefully good news for us. But who knows, like I'll either be in a good mood or a terrible mood. So it'll be interesting.
One or the other, or it could be a flat 0-0 and then everyone's down in the dumps. But I don't think that helps either team out at the moment, by the way, a draw. But guys, like I said, if you did want to follow Elizabeth, her link to her channel is down in the description below. Do check it out. It is going from strength to strength, and obviously your social media links will be on that channel as well, I'm guessing. Is that right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I have them. I think I have them in my banner, but yes. My Twitter ad is just Ellie_Helenek. It's the name Helen with EK at the end. It's the easiest way I have to describe it. And YouTube is just my name, Elizabeth Helenek. Yeah,
and she's posing in that big free blue Chelsea shirt, guys, so you cannot miss her. That's the one. All the people in the comment section, Paul for moderating, cheers very much, mate. Been a brilliant stream again. Thanks, pal. Super chats and everyone, the link is there. Click on the little button, the icon there in the bottom right of your screen to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching for the first time, give the video a like. The free. Support the channels, guys. Support your local channels as always. We're working our asses off. I'm about to go and do another 2 streams in a row right now. It's a busy night, people. It's a busy night, but it's a busy, big weekend this weekend in the Premier League. Hopefully, no disrespect to Elizabeth. I hope I'm smiling and Elizabeth is down in the dumps. But we will see. We will see. Guys, I will see you on Sunday for the live watch along where I'll be joined by Tim, and hopefully it will be all smiles. But you never know in this game. People, for now, that's us done and dusted. Thanks.